and welcome to this brand new YouTube channel. On this YouTube channel, we're going to be basically doing all Planet Zoo. And in today's video, what we're going to be doing is the do's and don'ts of Planet Zoo. So I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, here's the first do. Something that you might want to do whenever you're recording a video, or you also just want to check out the size of what your guests see. What you can do is you want to go over to a guest, let's say this one right here. You want to take their name and you want to change it to Tegid Cam. Once you do that, you'll be in a guest view. And when you're in guest view, you'll walk very slowly. But you get to see the park in a whole new perspective that you've never seen before. So yeah, if you look over here, we can see we have our little moose area, and yeah. So, and also if you ever want to leave this, you just press escape. And once you press escape, you're able to move around again and do whatever you want to do. So yeah, that's something that's really, really cool. So that is a do. Okay, here's a big don't. Never make big enclosures like this. Even though this is for the American bison, so that could be excused. But whenever you make big enclosures, you get taxed. And whenever you get taxed, more and more money leaves your account. So whenever you're starting the game, just never make big enclosures. Make really, really small ones. For example, make one like this over here. And also get small animals first. So as you can see, these are for my little tiny prairie dogs. Always use the small animals before the big ones. And then whenever you have a lot of money, you can make bigger enclosures like this one. So yeah, that right there is a don't and a do mixed into one. Okay, here's a very, very big do. For this, what we want to do is that we want to have our animals be able to traverse everywhere over here, except for the parts that you don't want them to traverse. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to go over to the animal that we have selected to check out. We want to press H. Over here, we'll be able to see this hot bar of items over here. What we want to do is we want to click on Habitat. We want to go over to Traversable Area, and we want to click on one of our animals. Over here, we can see that the animal can travel all over here. Everywhere that's blue, your animal can travel on. Also, something that's very important is the staff traversable area. Your staff traversable area is where your staff can travel. So let's say that your food is over here and there's not any blue around it. If there's not any blue around it, then your animals won't get fed. And then that means that your animals could get hungry and or could starve. So always check this out right before or right after you're making your animal enclosure. Okay, here's another do. What we want to do is we want to make sure there's light in the habitat. Because if there's not, then your guests can't really see anything, realistically. So what we want to do is we want to come over here to construction. We'll click on lights, floor lights, and then you have a selection of floor lights that you can use. I mostly use the New World Spotlight. Over here, what we can do is we could try to hide it somewhere. I'm going to turn off Align to Surface so I can place it wherever I want. But what we want to do is we want to make sure that it's facing towards the ground. As you can see, that this is extremely bright. Here's a way to fix that. What we want to do is we want to come over here to the color editor. And right now we can see that it is really white. We want to come over here to the darker range, and we want to click on that. Once we do that, we'll see that the light has changed drastically in the area. That it went from really, really bright to just sort of bright, so your animals can see, and so can your guests. For example, let's go over here to my moose habitat. Over here, my moose habitat, we can see that there is a lot of lighting because people really want to see it. It also makes it look really dramatic. So always make sure to add in lighting if it's just for realisticness or you really just want to be able to see your animals. So yeah. Here's another really big do of Planet Zoo. As we can see, this is my little tiny staff area. Only with the essentials because I'm in sandbox mode right now. Over here we have the keeper's hut, so on and so forth. But one of the most important items in the game is the electricity items. To find the electricity items, we go into facilities, we go into utilities, and as we can see, we'll go all the way over here to your little tiny facilities. The ones that will produce power are the solar panel, your transformer, and your wind turbine. These two are for water. We don't need those right now. So what we will do is we'll come over here, and let's say we want to place it down right here. We always want to make sure that it is facing towards the path so your mechanic can come and they can fix it. Once we do that, we want to come over here. We want to press H for the heat maps again. Let's go over to the negative impact on guests. Right now I have my negative impact turned off. But if you do have it on, we can see that there would be a big red circle around this. Whenever there's a big red circle around it, it means that if it is interfering with some of the guests, which you can see over here, if it's interfering with them, they will get very unhappy because they saw it, and you don't want that to happen. So what you want to do is you want to move it farther away from the guests so they don't get annoyed. Here's another do that I found out the hard way. Whenever you start a zoo, you should always continue with it, because if you don't continue with the zoo, then it's just kind of sad, because then you have to start a brand new one. So basically, I've been working on this one for quite a long time. A lot of these are just blueprints that I placed down, because I just wanted a cool looking zoo. But whenever you start a zoo, always continue with it, and that's just my opinion. Also, always make sure there's foliage, because the foliage always makes the zoo look a whole lot more realistic. As you can see, I used a lot of the exact same tree, but whenever you go down in here, you can't ever really notice it, and it just gives that really cool looking effect. So yeah, always make sure to keep your zoo, and also always make sure to add foliage to your zoo. Okay, here's my last and final tip. Always make sure to have fun and be creative. Even if you don't have some things that you think that you would need, you can make it. For example, this is not mine. I actually got this off the blueprint store. But this person was very, very resourceful. As you can see down below, they used a sign that I think was from Australia, and they put it to make this. And with this, they put it as a backdrop for the moose, and they made a really cool looking thing. So if you don't have it, you can always make it, no matter what. Even though there might be some limits, but always try. But yeah, this is my final tip, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, I'll see you next time.